Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Company of Heroes Personal Tutoring. This is episode 2. This time the player I'm helping is Zevid. Remember that if you would like to get personal tutoring 1v1 in Company of Heroes, then just send me a PM and we can organize something. What happens is we play a game together, I record the replay from your point of view, and then I make notes, and then I give the notes back in a video, and that's what this video is for Zivid. But anyone can watch because it's very informative, I have found. Just in one episode I have figured that out. So anyways, before I get started, last time I said that I would not repeat mistakes if you keep making them over and over. I would only mention the mistake once because otherwise it would make the video excessively long. That is still true. I am still not going to mention it over and over. Although in this game I kind of do, but it really makes a point in this game, so let's just get started. So the first starting point that I want to do is at 26 seconds, or this first stopping point that I want to do. And we're playing it, or watching it 2x, not 1x. That way it's fast enough, but it's not too fast. So here what I wanted to mention is it's good that you built your Wehrmacht quarters at the front of your base. That is good. And you also have a waypoint from your HQ that I see. So that is very good. You are doing quite well. The only problem here is that you built your second Pioneer Squad pretty late. I assume that was just an accident because of the text that you said. Well, anyone who's watching this and doesn't know it, you'll see the text. But basically, I think that was an accident, so I'm not going to be picky about that. The next stop point is at 2 minutes and 1 second. Okay. So your second Pioneer Squad is out. Looks like you're doing shift clicks because your Pioneers did not stand next to your built Wehrmacht quarters for very long. So that is a good thing, you know shift clicking. Shift clicking, yeah, I don't know. We'll call it that. So we're waiting for 2:01. Volks are on the field. Awesome. I'm offering this guy a restart, Zevid. Oh yes, he wants me to call him Johnny because that is Romanian and I don't speak Romanian. I'm probably messing it up. So to avoid messing it up, I'm going to call you Johnny because that is what you asked to be called. Alright, so here I wanted to say it's good that you're doing aggressive capping. You're capping the middle. You're not just sitting back waiting for me to show up. That is good. Some Wehrmacht players are they're bad with being aggressive, but the only problem here is you're capping the wrong points. You should not be capping a VP this early in the game because early in the game you want resources, not victory points. So go for the resources at the beginning. Instead of capturing this victory point, I probably would have put the Volks in the church to get line of sight. And if they didn't find anything, I would take them out of the church and put them in this green cover. Let's see. Right there. That green cover right there. And then I would wait because then you're at my cutoff point. So that area is kind of locked off to me unless I can somehow unroute your Volks from there. But anyways, let's see, next one is at 2:46. So, adding on to the previous thing, it's not necessarily the best thing to do to put your Volks here. It might have been better to do capping like you're doing, but I don't think capturing the VP was the right way to go. That's the point I'm trying to make there. Alright, so it's 2:46. Okay, so first off, I want to say that by moving your Volks up this far and then having an MG come out, if I had not sent my first rifle squad to your fuel, you would have instead ended up, if I had sent my first rifle squad here and then around to your cutoff, your MG would have died because your MG would have been alone. I would have been able to get close to it, and if you tried to set it up, then I would easily be able to flank it. So your MG was pretty open. It didn't turn out bad for you this time, but it's something to keep in mind. It's kind of what I'm doing with this rifle squad, although you don't you don't really know what I'm doing with this rifle squad, you just know that it's there for right now. The thing I want to say did well right here is you had your pioneers capturing this fuel point, but then you put them in the building. That is very good because you saw my engineers coming. You knew that pioneers would win the battle if they were put in the building. So you put them in the building before I could get in the building. That was a smart move. Is that all I have to say? Yes. Okay. So now we're going to 317. So you see my rifles right here. I'm going to make a point of that later. So you're taking your pioneers out of the building here. And it's 317. Alright. So, the first thing I want to mention is you sent your newly made Volks to this point. Now you should not have done that because you should have known that I already had a rifle squad here, which was capturing this point because you could see the squad as they were decapping it from you. And then you also saw this rifle squad coming past the MG right here. So you knew I had 2 rifle squads somewhere near your fuel, and 1 Volk squad cannot take on 2 rifle squads. That just doesn't work. So you should not have sent your Volks here. What you should have done with them is sent them somewhere towards your cutoff and... what did I say? Okay, so yeah, basically you should have just sent them somewhere to your cutoff and maybe even because you knew I had 2 rifle squads here. Those were both of the rifle squads I had out on the field. I didn't have any more infantry except for this rifle squad that just came out. So you could safely assume that I had very little infantry on the rest of the map because I had 2 rifle squads near your fuel. And because of that, you could easily have taken the rest of the map without much contest from me. And that would have helped you significantly. So that's what you should have done with these Volks instead of sending them to your fuel point. The other thing I want to mention is you took your pioneers out of the building to go capture my fuel. I honestly don't think that was a very good idea. What you should have done is left them in the building to either kill the NGs or prevent me from capturing this fuel point or anything like that. Because now that your powers are gone, I am planting a mine here, which could turn out bad for you. And I also have the cutoff for this munitions point. So this high munitions point is cut off. And yeah, I honestly think it would have been better to leave your pioneers in the building in this case. One other thing I would have done is these Volks are not doing much of anything, and your MG is in the church. Now, what I would have done is taken these Volks, captured the strategic point, my cutoff point. That way you could guarantee I could not connect your fuel to my base, because you do not want to risk me getting 2 fuels, which would be very, very bad. Okay, so yeah. So I would take your Volks and cut me off here, and then I would also move up your MG to somewhere more forward, either the house or even somewhere like right here, maybe. Because then you could capture my cutoff and I wouldn't be able to do much of anything about that because your MG would stop me from being able to do anything. So that's what I would have done there. Oh yeah, and you knew I had engineers here. If you had left your pioneers in the building, they also would have been able to protect your cutoff point because you could know where my engineers are at all times. You know that they're not going to go to your cutoff point and cut you off right there. So yeah, keep your pioneers in the building here. That would have been a better idea for all the reasons I mentioned. And then capturing my cutoff point as well, and sending these Volks towards your cutoff point so that they could fight anything that showed up there. That would also help prevent you from getting cut off. Alright, so I've spent a lot of time on this part. So the next thing to do is we're at 317, 401. Okay. Okay, good. You retreated those Volks. Your pioneers here are capturing while fighting. That is not good. And that is one of the things I wanted to mention. At 401. So, one thing I wanted to mention, I guess I'll mention this first just because it's first on my list. It was good that you retreated your Volks from this battle. You realized your mistake. You realized you were fighting 2 rifle squads, so you retreated as soon as you realized that. That was good. The second thing I wanted to do is mention that you were capturing with your pioneers while they were fighting. That is not a good move. That victory point is not important enough to lose manpower over it, especially at this stage of the game. So, yeah. What you really should have done is taken these pioneers and probably moved them back to green cover here, or even yellow cover right here. Although I would take the green cover, quite honestly. You could lure me in and then try to do something, I don't know. I would probably, with my engineers, I probably would have just said screw it and gone to capture this strategic point, because I need the strategic point to connect this high munitions for me. So if you had taken your pioneers to cover, I don't know, it would have been better off for you there instead of capturing while fighting, because that is never a good idea. So next up is 425. So your Volks are fighting my rifles.
They're losing territory.
Pull your Volks back, and you have an MG in support. That is the main topic I want to talk about at this time. You did a good job here. You had your Volks in yellow cover fighting my rifles in green cover. So you moved your MG forward from the church into this building, and then you moved your Volks back to save them, and then if I move forward, I would get suppressed by your MG. So that is a good move on your part. I wanted to mention that. The next part is 439. Alright, so 439. One good thing you did, you suppressed my rifles. Like I said, it was a good idea to move the MG to that building, and you suppressed my rifles. I can't do much about it. Okay then, you could even capture my cutoff point right now, even though it wouldn't do much good because I'm not getting any resources. You could have done that. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about here? Yes, you kept falling for my lure at your field point here. So I have my rifles somewhere here. Your Volks Grenadiers come up from the map and from your base and follow this path approximately. And then you stop to fight my rifles. That is good because Volks are better at long range, rifles are better at close range. However, I pulled back my rifles, and then you decided to come chase my rifles. So while you were chasing me, once you passed your fuel point, I felt safe enough to come and approach you again. So I brought my rifles forward again towards your Volks, and your Volks are just getting chewed up now because of it, because rifles are better at close range, like I said. So I pulled back to lure you in, and then I pushed forward again to get up close, and you fell for it, and yeah, that caused you to lose that battle. Even though you have an MG coming out right here, that MG is too late. It might have been worth your time to have the Volks Grenadiers wait near your base or your base MG and wait for this MG to show up, or even have the base MG be your support. Put your Volks somewhere here, around the rightmost green dot here, and just stay there, fighting long range against my rifles. I would have pulled back, the battle would have stopped battling, but you would have survived. That's what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, you fell for my lure here, it hurt your Volks. Something to keep in mind, don't fall for lures like that. If I pull back, that does not necessarily mean you should chase me. It means I might have something up my sleeve, and I'm trying to get you to fall for it. So now on the back page of my notes here, 6:04 is the next stop time. So as you can see, your Volks are getting chewed up and really should be retreating, but they're not. Now they're retreating. But now your MG is setting up late and in front, and you're gonna lose it. Oh, you survived with one guy.
Forward supply lines are
And
broken.
you're building a sniper.
Attention! The enemy advances. Our forward supply lines are broken.
Your MG is suppressing my rifles. That's good. Although you're keeping it in the same place, which is not the best idea. You should always move your MG. But oh no, your sniper. This is a point I want to make. You lost your sniper. That's 340 manpower down the drain. I'm sure you know how bad that is. Something you should not do. So what I can do to help you keep your sniper alive is give you 2 tips. First one is, let's say these pioneer squads are your sniper. Do attack move. Okay, the A key does not work in replays, but to do an attack move, somewhere on the right side where all the buttons are, there's an attack move command, or you can push the A key, and then you left click where you want your unit to move to. And when attack move will mean that as soon as they find an enemy to shoot at, they will stop moving and they will just shoot at that enemy. So that's really good for snipers. Like, as soon as your sniper saw my rifles, it would have stopped, shot at them, and kept shooting at them until it couldn't, like, until they were no longer in its line of sight. So that is something you could have done. One other thing to do is to put your sniper on a hotkey. If you hold down if you select your sniper and then you hold down your control key and push a number key, such as 1, it will assign it to the number 1. So every time you push the number 1, your sniper will be selected. That's something I like to do with like M8s, snipers, any really special units. I always put them on a hotkey. So that's one thing you could have done to easily select your sniper and retreat it or something like that. So yeah, the next part is 754.
The enemy is seizing our territory.
Yeah, you realized you lost your sniper. Glad you realized it though. You didn't just wonder, oh, where'd my sniper go? Where did I lose it? It wasn't like that.
Fuel point is ours.
We're losing a sector.
Ah, yes, I put my rifles in the church against your MG.
Supply lines are broken. We have territory cut off from
It was a
supply.
smart move for you not to get out of the house here because you are actually damaging my rifles. However, it's not... There it is. I have more rifles coming, basically. And here you just fought my rifles. You retreated off your point. Your Volks here are getting damaged.
We are losing ground.
Now they're capturing your cutoff point. And they're dying, but now they retreat. Alright, so here you lost your MG. I said it was a good idea to not retreat, but then I had another rifle squad show up, which meant that you should retreat. I don't know if it was too quick to retreat even, but that is something to keep in mind. If I have you face backwards, away from the thing you're trying to choke point with your MG, be on the lookout for a flank. You should also not have an MG alone, generally. And this is what I was talking about with flanking. I have your cutoff point, and you're completely cut off from anything in the middle, but yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier in the game. So for right now, your MG was lost, and yeah, I'm not really sure how you could have saved it. But the main point I want to talk about here is your Volks, because they were capturing this munitions point, but then my rifle started shooting them, and they lost a couple of guys. So then you moved them to capture the strategic point, your cutoff point. That was also not very good. You should have retreated them instead because they had 3 men, which you retreated them after my rifles showed up. Really, you should have retreated them as soon as they started taking damage from my rifles, because I have multiple rifle squads here, and I'm pretty sure that you did see the multiple rifle squads. So, yeah. Your Volks should have retreated. And I'm trying to still give helpful commentary, but my mouth is getting sore. Oh well. That is fine. It's what I do. It's awesome. It actually is awesome. Um, let's see. What else do I want to talk about here? Manpower. 481 manpower. That is excessive floating. There is nothing that you were going to buy that costs 500 manpower. So, don't float manpower. Always watch your resources closely and try not to float, especially with manpower, because manpower is a very important resource. What you really should have done at this point is tech to tier 2, build your Krieg's barracks. I would advise against tier 3 completely because I had your fuel for a while, and you know I could get your fuel back even though you have an MG here. There's still a chance I could come and get your fuel back for myself. So go tier 2 and non-fuel reliant tier. Tier 2 is Krieg's barracks, by the way. So yeah. One other thing I would do is buy an MG in your Wehrmacht quarters and start playing defensively. And by playing defensively, I mean you should have your let's see. Let's say your Volks are your Volks, which they are. You can put them right here, in that cover right there. And then you can have, let's say the Pioneers are your MG. You can put your MG in the building. Then, I will have a hard time flanking your MG because your base MG almost reaches any way I can flank your MG. And also your Volks are on the side, so you would be able to kill some of my infantry, but I wouldn't be able to kill yours. And then you just turtle up. Turtling is taking land piece by piece, rather than flanking or something like that. So once you had backed me off of your cutoff point, maybe I backed up to right here, where this rifle squad is. Then you could move your MG up to right here, and have it face somewhere like that. And then your Volks would also go maybe somewhere in green cover like here, right here. That way you can just move up slowly and just turtle your way, play more defensively. At this point, I think that would have been better for you because I'm winning all the engagements of infantry versus infantry, especially with BARs now. So without MGs and slowly moving up, you wouldn't have had a chance at all. So that's what I would do here, MG and tier 2, because you are floating a ton of manpower. So yeah, next stop point is 917.
They're shooting at us!
Okay, Pioneer. Welcome to the squad.
Great, another
The
replacement.
enemy is seizing our territory.
So your Volks here are going to the munitions point. I am planting a mine. And your Volks show up. Ouch.
Volk squad is down.
So, let's see. Kind of a lot to talk about here, but not anything close to the next point. But, oh well, I'm going to talk about this point right now. So, you lost your Volks here. That was actually really unlucky. I planted a mine right under you, and I was thinking that maybe you were trying to make my engineers die because of your Volks running over the mine. But unlucky for you, my engineers got out of the way just before your Volks ran over that mine. So you just lost your Volk squad, and I lost nothing. What you really should have done instead of trying to blow up the mine is just have your Volks sit back and shoot at my engineers from far, and then get a minesweeper or something on your Pioneers. I mean, granted, you're not getting any munitions, but you are capturing munitions. And you can afford a minesweeper. I think it's 35 munitions. You have 45. So, yeah. You knew the mine was there, and yeah. So that was just really unlucky. The strategy you tried didn't work out for you. wasn't based on skill really. Um, let's see. Then, oh yes. So those Volks are dead. These Volks are dead. The MG here just came out of your Wehrmacht quarters, or no. It did not just come out of your Wehrmacht quarters. It was reinforcing, I believe. What you should have done is had the MG set up here or somewhere like this, or in the building, and then brought your Volks forward so that the MG could suppress my infantry, and then your Volks could help kill the infantry. That would have helped your Volks survive, and I actually think your Volks would have survived if you had done that. So yeah, the next thing. It is good that you are capturing this munitions point like I mentioned. It is very good that you are capturing it. You know you need it. Your pioneers were doing nothing else in your base. You should do that. Although you could use them to build tier 2. You do have another pioneer squad which can do that. Because they are doing nothing in your base. So, let's see. What is this message? Or rather note that I wrote. That rhymes. Note that I wrote. Okay, so here. This is the other topic I wanted to talk about. Here your MG was able to suppress these riflemen, but you saw that I had riflemen coming around your flank of the MG. So I could take these riflemen and move them here close to your field point, between your field point and your MG, so that these rifles would not be suppressed by your MG, and I would have won the flank, and that is actually exactly what I'm going to do here. So in a case like this, you should have sent this MG, because this MG is doing nothing in terms of being here. It won't be able to do much of anything either. So it should actually go and support the MG in the building here. Maybe place your mobile MG somewhere like here to help prevent getting flanked, and then retreat the MG in the building, because with this flank coming, it is screwed. In addition, it is screwed basically. And you are in a small house, and the smaller the house in this game, the less cover it provides, which is why the church is just awesome in terms of cover, and this house sucks terribly. So yeah, I would have used this MG to help suppress these rifles and retreat the MG in the building, because that was a very obvious flank incoming. Is that all I have to say about this? I believe it is. Yeah, I believe it is. So next is 941.
Back our forward base.
So this is what I'm talking about. You got flanked very easily, and your MG is still firing, and now it is dead. And we're at 940. Let's go to 41. There we go. Alright, so I have a ton of things to say here. Okay, so this MG, you moved far too close. How do I say this? You moved the MG too close to my rifleman. You really should have had it on attack move, or even have it just move, like, right here or somewhere. I'm just selecting pioneers just to give the green circles so you can see this better. Yeah, and then you have your MG face the direction of the strategic point, so that you could push off my riflemen from that point and possibly capture it. Let's see. Oh yes, those Volks that died here before the MG arrived, they could have actually helped the MG once it arrived. Like I was saying earlier, they could help each other push me off this point, maybe, and then start turtling up from there. Let's see. Okay, so here, you lost the MG you had because of my flank, and you didn't retreat. What you should have done is retreat it or support it with the MG that just died at your cutoff point. So there were two options to do with this MG. You did neither of them because it came too late compared to the Volks that were here and the MG dying here. When you have Pioneers, but we'll talk about that later. Here you have idle Pioneers at your munitions point, but you do realize it in a couple of seconds, so that's not a big deal. Pioneers charging to death at your fuel. Yes, you have these Pioneers charging to death at your fuel, but you do realize it in a few seconds as well, and you retreat them. So that is good. You realize it and you retreat them, because you know you would have lost those Pioneers. One thing to note, 777 manpower. That is a lot of floating. So yeah, don't float manpower. I'm just gonna say that again. Don't float manpower. I've already said it in this video, but it makes the point right now. So overall, this game, or at least especially right now, I out multitasked you. Don't worry about that yet. That's what I did, but don't worry about it yet. Worry about right now, what you need to worry about right now is getting each command down first, like knowing when to retreat a squad, knowing how to have your Volks support your MGs, or having your MGs support your Volks, stuff like that. Knowing when to capture a point, or if we'll go find cover, or anything like that. Getting every command down, master them. Because multitasking is the exact same things. You're doing the exact same things. You're finding cover, you're retreating, you're capturing points. The only difference is you have to do them faster and in multiple places. So right now, I don't feel like you have the concept of when to capture, when to attack, when to find cover, when to how to support your MG with Volks, stuff like that. So I would say work on that first, and then you can start combining them together for multitasking. Because right now I out multitasked you. I'm forcing you to fight on two fronts. One right here where your MG was, and one right here where this MG was and your Pioneers are. Then you're also capturing with these Pioneers, you're floating manpower. So you're clearly busy, you're trying hard, but you're not able to keep up. So you're on too many different fronts right now. One thing I can say to help is maybe focus on one area. Like, maybe focus on getting me out of this, what's it called? Cutoff point. So that you can push forward and start turtling the middle. Now at this point I would say you were guaranteed to lose, but that is just an example of what you would have to do. So yeah. Lots and lots of talking. So yeah, get down the commands first and learn how to support your MG with Volk. I'll make an example of it right now. Let me just unpause so that we can... Okay, there we go. All the commands I've done are cleared. Can't select those Pioneers. Let's select these. So, let's say that let's say these Pioneers are your MG. You could, for example, put your MG maybe here and have it face the strategic point so that I am pushed off the point. And if I try to flank you with two rifle squads, maybe your MG focuses on this rifle squad, and then I take this rifle squad of 5 people and move them here along the side of your MG to flank you. You would have your Volks maybe right here. Have your Volks there supporting your MG so that you don't lose your MG like you did. The only problem is your Volks are dead, like I mentioned. So yeah, just getting the general basics like that down. That'll only come through practice, really. Knowing who wins what engagements, things like that. That only comes with practice. So all I can say is practice more and work on playing a more defensive role with Wehrmacht. I think you were a little too offensive at the beginning there, like I mentioned, when I mentioned that you were capturing the wrong victory point. Maybe you should work on playing, like I said, a more defensive role. Oh, my voice. Okay. So, work on playing a more defensive role and just, yeah, with Wehrmacht. And defensive, like I said, is turtling, which is just putting your MG supporting your Volks and slowly moving up across the map. And eventually you get to my cutoff point. But once you get to my cutoff point, you have to make sure you're not going to get flanked, because I can still come around the right side here and flank any units you have. I can even take your cutoff point. So that's something to know. But yeah, it's just like general actions and knowing what to do. The macro side of Company of Heroes. Now I'm throwing too many words out there, I think. So yeah, work on that. You're playing a more American style with Wehrmacht. Maybe you'll do better with Americans, because this is the American style, to be aggressive, to be flanking, stuff like that. So yeah, just work on those basic things. I would say play more defensive with Wehrmacht. That's one of the biggest tips I can give you, I think. And that will help you significantly. So anyways, to Johnny, I hope that you found this helpful. For everyone else, I hope you enjoyed watching this and found this helpful, because yeah, I think this is really informative, and I try to make it that way. Let me know if it isn't. And be honest. So yeah, that's it for this video. There was really no chance of winning at this point, because you only had one Pioneer squad, two Pioneer squad, and a Volk squad. But I had BARs and many riflemen squads. And I was actually about to build an M8, build a motor pool right here, and then an M8 comes out. And yeah, you had no way to counter that, really. So yeah, that's it for this video. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed, hope you found it helpful. Comment down below, let me know if you did find it helpful, because I like honest feedback. It is awesome to get honest feedback. And yeah, subscribe for more of these, and remember, if you want to have personal 1v1 tutoring from me, we'll play a game together, just private message me, and then we will set something up. I'm very flexible. So anyways, till next time, guys. Oh wait, oh yeah, okay, till next time, guys. Bye.